What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. So, y'all already seen that thumbnail, so you probably already know what this is about. So, Fuad Abdul Aziz, if you don't know who he is actually the community manager for Steel City Interactive. So, at the beginning of the month, he did an interview with the folks over at the Sportsman, where he touched on a few subjects regarding ESBC, just general questions. But there were some things that he spoke of and some things that he mentioned that I kind of wanted to highlight to everybody. So, just sit back. We'll get right to it. Catch you in a second. So during the interview, Fuad was asked, tell us about Steel City Interactive and why you decided to make a boxing game. His reply was, we are an independent studio based in Sheffield. Our studio comprises of new talent and industry veterans whom have worked on some of the biggest AAA franchises. Being avid boxing fans, we were frustrated at the lack of boxing games available. So this all started as a passion project. It has now turned into the most advanced boxing game ever in terms of features, licenses, and scope. Now, I wanted to touch on that myself. So y'all have heard me say that this is a small team that is working on a AAA project, and they are reaching far above their station. So he has basically reiterated that there. That's exactly what it is that they're doing. And of course, as y'all know by now, I believe that Steel City is hitting it out of the park. So next, as the interview went on, how far into development is the game? He replied, the project started 18 months ago. However, we completely upgraded everything in June of 2020 and essentially built the game again from the ground up. The title has come on tremendously thanks to our talented team. Almost every other week, the game improves to another level. However, even after release, ESBC will continually be developed as we will add more features into the game. Now, this is also something that we have touched on before. So this is what you consider a live service game. So this game is constantly going to be able to receive updates as the game's life cycle continues forward. So to continue on with the interview, what can we expect from the roster? Our roster is one of the biggest in sports gaming, period. The variety of fighters in the game is something which will make ESBC stand out. We have legends, current, former, world champions, and prospects. The roster covers fighters from the UK, South/North America, Asia, Australia, and various European countries. So you can see the incredible variety. He was also asked, will there be expansion passes with new characters and venues? His reply, yes, some of the new fighters that we add post-release will be available as DLC. However, some fighters and venues will be provided to fans as free updates. Okay, so this is something that I really wanted to touch on for everybody. All right, this is one of those areas that I wanted to highlight. So he did mention, yes, that there would be fighters that would be added as DLC. We all knew that because, I mean, the community has been kind of on fire since Ty Grisham mentioned it during his interview with Chris Mannix. Now, one of the things that Fuad said here was that there would be additional fighters that would be added for free as the game continues. So I understand that the community has kind of had this perspective that we were going to get this bulk amount of fighters that were going to come out, and then everything after that was going to be added as DLC. So what we have here is that is not the case. We are going to get bulk fighters, yes, more than likely. We're also going to get DLC fighters, more than likely. But what he's also saying is that as the game continues to update, we will see more free fighters being added to the game. That only shows that this company is not out to come and take your money. All right, they will give you additional fighters for free. So can we wrap up the DLC conversation now a little bit? But to continue on with the interview, have you had any feedback from the fighters about the game, he was asked. Yes, boxers have realized that boxing has been left behind in the gaming sphere with MMA and other combat games taking center stage. The fact that there are world champions who have had full careers and retired without ever being in a video game is a sad state of affairs for boxing video games. We are extremely grateful to the boxers who have continually showed their support to the game. The fighters are obviously extremely excited to play with their character in the game, as well as those who are not in the game. Now, I wanted to touch on that as well, because that is a very good point. Now, this company has always said that they are boxing fans themselves. And I think it is pretty tragic that in the state of current things, with the way that technology has advanced, that there are fighters who have retired and have never been in a boxing game before. I think that is just an egregious thing for them. Not to mention, the fact of the matter is that boxing video games are good for the community as a whole when it comes to boxing. The more that people are talking about boxing, the more that boxing in itself will rise and will thrive. So to get some of these legends in there and get their names across to maybe some of the younger and casual community who don't know that much about boxing, I believe is extremely important for cementing some of these guys' legacy in history as a whole. Lastly, he was asked, anything else you'd like to add to promote the brand? By having the WBC, Ring Magazine, IBF, CompuBox, and BoxRec all featuring ESBC, gamers can finally look forward to a fully licensed boxing game with lifelike next-gen graphics. Now, when it comes to that, I don't really think there's more that needs to be said. I think we all know what it is that we're going to get with ESBC at this point. Only thing that we're looking forward to now is really just how deep the character creation is going to be, and then I guess the last fighter announcement, and then really what the control schemes are going to be. There are other additional features that are coming. I spoke about in the last video, referees, clinch system, those types of things. But I think what we're seeing is a trend right now of the information that is coming out. I also think that there is a trend in the community that what we are seeing is this constantly growing community who is eager to really get into this game. I personally believe that we are going to have an extremely strong, I think we're going to have an extremely competitive community. And I honestly really look forward to it. And I honestly look forward to seeing some of you all in the ring also. So that's all I got for y'all for today. Appreciate y'all for coming back to the Coach's Corner. We're over 700 subscribers now. Still racing to get to 1K. Appreciate y'all every single day. I will catch you out on the next one. Peace.